Broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown studios inside Santander Stadium. Welcome to Revs Hot Stove Weekly, your preseason home for York Revolution baseball, and the only place to hear the latest player signings first. Revs Hot Stove Weekly on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. Now, here are the hosts of Revs Hot Stove Weekly, Darryl Henry and Atlantic League Manager of the Year, Mark Mason.
Yep, we are here indeed. You got us for the next hour. Welcome into this edition of Revs Hot Stove Weekly. Darryl Henry alongside Mace, alongside Ray Jensen, who's on the board as well. He's on that new computer, Ray. How do you like that?
It's newer. It's better.
Better. It is better. It is better than that thing we dealt with last week. So welcome back in, everyone. Mace, good to see you. We're getting close.
Good to see you guys, too.
Yeah, and it'll soon be time. Last night, actually, we little behind-the-scenes tidbit. We welcomed in those who work our game day operations here at the stadium and got them into their orientation for the coming year. The folks that you see as ushers, the smiling faces that greet you every night at the ballpark. So you know it's getting close, and maybe it's getting warmer. Maybe it's. I know we've had a couple of tarp pulls this week, so we're starting to get pretty serious about getting the field toward game shape. And we've got a new computer here in the studio, so we're on time this week. We will have an archive this week. At least I can say that fairly confidently. I don't want to jinx things, but and we'll have the Mike McClendon interview this week that we missed out on a week ago as well. But sounded like everybody understood our plight from last week. We still got the info out there. A good week last week, and Mace, I think we've got another good one on tap here this week. They've all been impressive, if you ask me, and I think two impact guys on tap for us here this week as well.
I agree, and we're getting close to finishing it up right now as far as the roster goes. But these two guys will definitely help us this year, and it'll be good to have these guys in the clubhouse and in our lineup and part of our Revs family here. So we're excited about that.
Well, you can find us here, of course, every Friday at 4 here live on radio. You can listen online, WOYK1350.com, the WOYK mobile apps. And, of course, if you've missed any previous episodes, well, maybe except last week, that one went up in smoke and is forever in our memories only. You can find the archives on WOYK1350.com as well. So, Mace, before we get to our first unveiling this week, just to kind of set the landscape of where we are and really where everybody is at this point, you were telling me it's interesting. The releases from Major League Spring Training this year are a little bit different than in years past, and you know maybe this year I think it's always a good thing, and I know you take the approach of doing as much as you can as early as you can and building that foundation. But the way things have gone this year, maybe that is even more of a positive that we kind of got started early on things.
I think so this year. It's always a crapshoot when you're trying to put your team together in the off season. You can wait for spring training releases, and this year, as we've seen so far, has been a lot of younger guys, less experienced players. And if if we would have waited, you're also competing with 25 to 30 other teams to sign these players. And a lot of times players they want to wait and see if they can get another job with a major league organization. And then if that doesn't happen, they start looking into the foreign leagues where they can make a good amount of money. And if that doesn't work for them, then they start looking into where they can play closer to home a lot of times, even though that league may not be a fit for them as far as their playing experience. And if they have some friends that are playing somewhere, then they want to go play with the buddies and all those things. So there's a lot that goes into putting the team together, and a lot of variables that you're not quite aware what a player is thinking at the time. So we like to try to get that foundation, try to get as many quality players signed as we can, as early as we can. And then if we can enhance our roster with spring training releases, then we try to do that as well.
Well, some folks may have seen some of the plugs for this week's show on social media. We've got one new guy to the team, one returning member of the team. So that's what we're looking at this week, and we'll get right into it, and we'll start with the new guy coming on board. And I think Mace a chance to make a real impact. And he's not totally new to the Atlantic League. He was here for a brief stint last season, and this guy should be in the outfield for you. Brandon Boggs, if Revs fans remember his name from Bridgeport when he came in here. I kind of remember him doing a number in the series here in York, and in 18 games with Bridgeport last year, he hit .324, was signed by the Atlanta Braves as a result, spent the rest of the year at AAA Gwinnett. So, Mace, your remembrances of seeing Boggs in person and what you think he can bring to this team this year?
I thought he was a dynamite hitter. He's also a switch hitter, which I like, and it's a guy that can bat in the leadoff part of our lineup. With Greeny in Mexico, we were looking for somebody to fill that top of the order spot, and having a switch hitter that can hit for average. He can play center field, and obviously with Smitty, rehabbing still and all those things. We want somebody out there that we know can cover the ground in center field, a good switch hitter, somebody with good on-base percentage, and just an overall good player and a good guy. So he impressed me last year. Obviously, he wasn't here that much, but he did a lot of damage in this league when he was here. So, we're just hoping that he picks up where he left off here last year. I know he has a good relationship with Eric Patterson. They're good friends. And so when you start putting all those things together, now you have a comfort level for when he gets here. He knows enough guys on our team, and I've talked to Brandon a lot this offseason, over different things since we were able to get him signed and stuff like that. So, we got him in a trade. He was traded from Bridgeport to Winnipeg, and then I was able to get him from Winnipeg to us here for the season. So it's been kind of a roundabout way of getting him here, but we're happy we got him here.
You're like Chip Kelly over there, swapping rights and draft picks if you had them, and
yeah, I mean it's a lot. It's hard. It's hard in this league because players reach out to you and they tell you, we've talked about this before, that they want to come and play here, and we do protected lists in this league, and obviously Brandon was protected, which I can totally understand that. And once he was traded to Winnipeg, then that opened the door for us to be able to go ahead and acquire him, and we were able to get it done.
By the way, our weekly Eric Patterson mention, I feel like we can put this out there since there's only 2 player signings this week, so a third piece of news this week. Eric will be on the cover of the 2015 Revs Media Guide. I told him that today. He is extremely excited about that. I'm sure that's a career highlight of his.
That is part of his contract this year. I told him we'd get him as many mentions as we could during the radio show. No, but Eric is well-deserving, and we're happy for that.
Well, with Brandon and some of the other guys that we've announced so far, you've got a lot of guys. One of the themes developing with this roster, a lot of guys are coming here that have been in the league previously, have been signed out of the league previously. Does that kind of do you think that positive experience previously, a guy like Brandon, a guy like Anthony LaRue, does that maybe give them even more hunger coming in here? They've tasted that, and they know how to make it happen and look to do it again?
Well, what they know is it's possible. And I think once you know it's possible, you come in with maybe a keener focus than maybe somebody that has never been signed out of this league, and especially a first-time guy coming into this league where he might think, well, I'll just be here for a little while and I'll be right back with an affiliate. So the guys that have been here and they've gone through it, they know what the workload is. They know what they have to do to get ready to play. They know the caliber of play in this league, which I think is grossly underrated by guys that have not played in this league before. So having guys that come back in knowing the ropes, I think it gets them off on the right foot, I believe, mentally, which is half the battle anyway.
Well, Brandon Boggs, we had a conversation with him yesterday. That's coming up here in just a moment. A little bit more on the newest Rev. Again, he hit .324 in 18 games with Bridgeport last year. as Mace mentioned, a switch hitter, earned a contract with Atlanta, spent the rest of the year at AAA Gwinnett. He hit .256 there in the International League, 7 home runs, though, 33 ribbies in 92 games. He's got some pop, has some speed. 7th consecutive year that he played at the AAA level. Actually 98 home runs in the minor leagues in his career, and he was originally drafted out of high school in Georgia but didn't sign. He went to Georgia Tech, and we'll hear him talk a little bit about his time there. But from Georgia Tech, a 4th-round pick of the Rangers in 2004, and he reached the big leagues with Texas in 2008, played in over 100 games at the big league level that year, .226 average, 8 home runs, and then over the course of the next 3 years, he would appear in 29 more major league games with Texas and Milwaukee. So he's got 130 big league games under his belt. He's another Atlanta guy, Mace. That's another developing trend with this team. You've got a pipeline from down there, a Marietta, Georgia native, and you've got Eric Patterson. You've got your pitching coach. You've got Heckathorns from Georgia, although a little bit further west, but Tim Battle lives in Atlanta, so making some scouting trips down there, or what?
No, Fletcher's my scout down there.
Okay.
So we're good with that.
He's your area scout?
He's my area scout, yes.
Well, without further ado, Brandon Boggs took some time on the phone with us yesterday. Here's the newest member of the Revs. Brandon, great to have you aboard. Looking forward to seeing you here. And you told me that it's kind of a busy time for you. What's the off season like for you? What all are you involved in these days here with just a couple of weeks away from spring training?
Oh, right now it's just making sure my body's healthy and stuff. Just getting in regular maintenance work, getting my workouts in, getting my massages in, my chiropractic work in, and making sure I'm out on the field every day hitting for a few hours. That takes up most of my time to get out here during while the sun's out and get out on the baseball field and warm and not raining and hit for a while just to make sure I'm well ready for the season to start.
And are you living in the Atlanta area still?
Yes, I still live there.
So how's the weather now? How much are you able to get out and do things on the field?
Well, it's good. Atlanta weather is crazy. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's not. But usually, right now, we're doing a pretty good job of getting out there on the field at least 3 or 4 times a week.
You mentioned some of the things you go through to take care of your body. How much different do you think it is nowadays with you hear about sports science and you hear about some of the new techniques and everything. I mean, how much do you get into that and consider, aside from just simple workouts, all the other things that you need to do to get yourself ready to play at this level?
Well, for me, I just believe in just taking care and maintaining the body. There's a lot of different things out there. I've been playing this game a long time, so there's a wide variety of things. I just feel like you get out of your body what you put into it. You're going to need to stretch on a regular and just take care of your body on a regular. You're going to need massage appointments just because you're just getting older and your body just needs it. And you're going to just need those adjustments. Travel and, just turning and torquing your body all season. Those adjustments just need to be made in your body just to make sure it feels better and lasts longer.
Talking with Brandon Boggs, and I know you had a chance to play in York last year as a visiting player. What did you think when you made your first visit here, and how excited are you to get here and call it your home?
Well, I thought it was a very interesting park. I liked it. It was just fun playing there. I know it's conducive to me hitting. There's a lot of good gaps out there, and there's a short portion of the high wall. So I can, go off there and, pull it over there. So I know it's just a great park. I just like playing there. And, the atmosphere was great. So I just want to see how it is to play there for a season.
And of course, you had a good experience in the league. You got signed by the Atlanta Braves. I'm sure that left a good taste in your mouth. And is that a motivating factor to come here and to kind of repeat that path?
Yes, everybody comes over here to, get seen and, get exposed to, big league teams and stuff like that. But, I'm just going to come there just to win and be excited to play there and just win. In turn, I just believe that'll get me to, bigger and better things and just become a better player.
How would you describe your style of play for the Revs fans to, kind of look forward to you being here? I mean, I know you play in the outfield. I know you're a switch hitter. I know you've put up some stolen base numbers and some power numbers. How would you describe what you best do and bring to the team?
What I best do is I just put together great at-bats. I hit the caps well. I run well. I score runs. I'll steal for you here and there. And I'll show off a little power. And I show off just great defensive skills. So, I'm just kind of all around. You'll see bits and pieces of everything, of a five-tool player. So that's what I feel like I bring to the team.
Brandon Boggs, our guest. Have you played all three outfield positions? And could you see yourself playing in front of that monster wall and left?
Oh, yes. I've played in all three outfield positions, even at the big league level. So, I'm comfortable playing everywhere. But yes, definitely. Seems like I played left field there last year when I visited, and it was a blast just to turn around and see not a lot of room to run and a lot of balls to play with off the wall.
Yeah, I did think that you were in left field with Bridgeport. I did remember that, and it was from there that you got the Braves contract last year. Did you grow up a Braves fan, being in Atlanta?
Oh yes, of course, definitely did. I grew up watching those guys and saw their great run through the '90s, so it was just great.
How about other sports? Who else are you rooting for? I know we had Eric Patterson on a couple of weeks ago, who we're going to talk about here in a moment because I know you guys go way back. But he mentioned the Atlanta Hawks. Are you following some of the other teams down there too?
Oh yes, I always followed the Hawks and the Falcons. I'm not much of a fan of them anymore. But I just follow them and just keep up with them. I'm just a fan of just the athletes now. I just like different athletes in different sports.
Talking with Brandon Boggs. So Eric Patterson seems to come up in all of our interviews, and you guys have quite the history as well. How far back do you go?
Oh wow, me and Eric go back until about 12 or 13 years old, where we played together on the same baseball team.
Wow, what was he like then?
Exactly the same. Trust me, he's been exactly the same.
So was it travel?
Throughout the years, yes, we played travel ball together.
Yeah.
Just been to college together, so we've grown up together. But all in all, our personalities are exactly the same.
Well, and obviously at Georgia Tech together, did you guys knowing each other from beforehand, did you kind of make that decision together, or was it kind of like, did you do your own thing and then you both ended up there together? How'd that work?
Yeah, we pretty much did our own thing. I just remember back when the recruiting process was going through, and I was just talking to my family, and I thought Georgia Tech was the best choice, and I just thought one day to call Eric, and he said the same thing, and I was like, well, I think I'm decided to go to Georgia Tech, and he said I will too. So that's how it kind of ended up there at the same time. But it was just each one of our decisions.
So how good were those teams? I would imagine you guys had some pretty good talent on those squads.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we did. We had great talent. I think we were ranked number one in the nation 2 out of 3 years we were there. So.
Wow. Yeah, and we've got some other Atlanta connections on this roster. Tim Battle lives there. Of course, Paul Fletcher, our pitching coach. Are you familiar with those guys from the Georgia area?
Yes, I definitely just met Paul this off season. He's a good guy, I like him as a pitching coach. I like him as a person. He's just good, and he's a guy that can get the team going. I haven't met Tim yet, but I've heard a lot about him through my agent and my Atlanta sources around, baseball sources.
And with Fletch, you might have an indoor facility you can go to every now and then.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, well, thank you very much for the time. Really appreciate it. Look forward to having you here, and enjoy the last couple of weeks of the off season, and we'll have you up here in York real soon.
All right, Daryl. Thank you for having me.
All right, that is Brandon Boggs, newest member of the Revs. Mace, you were saying he's another one of those guys that's all out, that type of player, very intense gamer type. And do you sometimes, see guys and they kind of stand out to you, and you think, maybe if I have a chance to get him down the road, I'm going to file that one away in the back of my mind?
Definitely. When we're playing other teams, I always try to scout their talent as well. We're basically trying to scout them anyway, because we're trying to figure how to get them out or how to get hits off of them. So we are scouting them, but there are certain guys in this league, like I told you last week. Valdez was somebody that I wanted. Brandon was somebody that I wanted here. These are guys, I think they're game changers, and they make your lineup better. They can do a lot of things for you, and when you get an opportunity to get those guys, and they fit right in with what we have, I just think it makes it a better overall product that we put out on the field every night. And
I guess, always it's a new look from year to year, but Boggs is a new outfielder, and you mentioned him as being a type that plays so hard. We were saying the same thing about Nick Jackson a couple of weeks ago. So those are two of the new guys that one of the first things you hear, that I've heard anyway from you and the scouting report, is how hard they play. And looking forward to those two potentially in the same outfield. Could be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We have 4 guys in the outfield right now, and if you want to throw, Limo in there, that would be a 5th one. But you have Nick Jackson, you have Brandon Jones, you have Boggs, you have Timmy Battle. So that's 4 guys that can cover some ground. And it gives us, with Limo hanging in there too, that gives us a chance to move some guys around. We could put Eric in the outfield once in a while if we wanted to. So it's important. Last year I think part of our success was defense, obviously. We had a great double play combination up the middle all year, whether it was Valdez with Patterson or Ophelio when he was there playing second base. And then in the outfield, there weren't a lot of balls that hit the ground. Smitty and Greeny went and got a lot of balls that were out there. Limo did a good job. So, we're just trying to maintain that defense that we had last year. It makes it easier for your pitching staff to relax, to know that guys can catch the ball when it's put in play. And, I think we've been able to do that again this year.
Well, and defense obviously is always important, but in today's game, is having a little bit of an edge there even more important, since you see less bludgeoning as far as offenses around the league and around baseball in general these days?
It is. It's just nice to be able to, in the infield, guys making the routine plays, that's what you want. Guys that can make the outstanding play, obviously that's better. And I think we're able to make the routine plays. I just like to be able to cover the gaps in the outfield. We try to pinch the gaps with certain guys hitting because they have a tendency to hit the ball a certain way. So we'll try to pinch the gaps there to cut down the amount of ground that the outfielders have to cover for certain hitters. But that all goes into the scouting part of it and how we're going to approach to pitch certain hitters. But I do like Brandon's versatility out there. He came up as a center fielder. Obviously, he can play all 3 outfield positions, and he can lead off for us. He knows what he's doing. He's an experienced player, and he'll take some pitches and he'll grind out some at-bats, and that's what we want.
All right. Well, Brandon Boggs is the first one announced this week. Good to have him on board, and we'll head to our first break here in the show. Another signing coming up later in the hour. Stay tuned. We also have our Mike McClendon interview from last week that we promised you, so stay tuned for that. Revs Hot Stove Weekly. We're back with more after this here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Turning a double play takes teamwork, and so does preparing for life's challenges. Murray Securus works with you, hand in hand, providing thoughtful solutions to help you plan for the future. Team up with Murray Securus for safer, more secure risk management, personal insurance, health benefits, wealth management, even cutting-edge human resource solutions for individuals and small to large businesses. Living life in a winning way just takes a little teamwork. Call Murray Securus today at 397-9600 or go to murrayins.com.
Black Cat Brewing Company is a new brew pub featuring 8 taps of fresh, high-quality craft beer brewed on premises. Enjoy a variety of pub food, including appetizers, soups, panini sandwiches, and desserts, which are prepared by Red Lion's own Red Brick Bakery. Enjoy a casual, inviting, and family-friendly atmosphere as you relax with family and friends while enjoying some of the area's finest craft beer at Black Cat Brewing Company, located at 5 West High Street and Red Lion. Open Thursdays from 4 to 9 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 3 to 10. Check out Black Cat Brewing Company online at blackcatbrew.com and on Facebook. Hey Revs fans, swing into spring at bundles of savings at the York Revolution. The Swing into Spring ticket plan gets you 6 field box seats to the game of your choice, 2 parking passes, plus admission for 2 to take live batting practice on the field at 2:30 for the Revs' 5 p.m. game against Long Island on Sunday, April 26th. Swing into spring with the York Revolution. Save when you shop at the Apple Chevrolet ticket office by phone at 717-801-HITS or online at yorkrevolution.com.
Hi, this is Wayne McCullough. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for Central PA Game Day, right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Join us as we celebrate the best of local sports with your teams and your student athletes. Interviews with players and coaches and the high school scoreboard show every Saturday morning. Central PA Game Day, Saturdays at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
Sports Radio 1350 is your home for March Madness. Catch second round NCAA tournament action right here on WOYK all day. Then at 6:20, join us for Hershey Bears hockey as the Bears take on the Portland Pirates. Following Bears hockey, it's back to NCAA tournament coverage for the rest of the night. And catch all the tourney action uninterrupted and streamed live online at WOYK1350.com. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK, your home for the most live sports.
Hey, this is Mark Malone from NBC Sports Radio. The Revs play here. Catch York Revolution Baseball on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Segment 2, the show still exists. That was our joke in week 1. We were still on the air after a week when we unveiled the new show. Now, we've had a lot of fun with this, Mace, and it'll go away here in a couple weeks. It'll be time for our nightly pregame interviews, 140 of them.
Yeah, that's all right. I enjoy those. Even though I give you a hard time, I do enjoy those.
Well, we did promise the Mike McClendon interview from last week, and by the way, hats off to Mike, our buddy from 2K, our IT team here, and got us up and running with a new computer extremely quickly after what happened last week, but the crash did wipe out our McClendon interview at the time, so we promised we would move that to this week's show, and Mace, just to set it up, I mean, we talked about him at length last week, but obviously a big returning member of the pitching staff. We had the pleasure of seeing him for a month last year before he got signed. There's another one that got picked up and is back here trying to do it again, and had an amazing Winter League season in Australia as well. So your thoughts on bringing him back and making him one of your options to trot out there?
Well, I really thought it was a no-brainer to bring Mike back. He had he put up great numbers while he was here. He was able to get signed from here. He's excited about coming back. We were actually emailing each other when he was in Australia playing winter ball. So we were staying in contact. And he was really excited about coming back. So hopefully for him, he can get the same results he had when he was here last year. And if he gets signed, that would be great. But he's another guy that's going to come in and compete. Takes his work really seriously, and obviously knows Fletch They were here together last year, so once again, a little familiarity and a guy that knows what to expect from us in the league. He'll know most of the guys on the roster, so it should be a good time for him and fun for us too.
Well, he was great here. A lot of fun to watch too, because he worked at such a good pace. It's always fun to watch guys that are in command of what they're doing and they get it and go. And he was definitely that way. And then maybe the most, well, he went to AA and AAA with the Rockies, but then this winter, the number that, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody have this on a stat line, but he had 3 walks and 40 strikeouts in his Australian League season. So that would be pounding the zone, I guess.
He pounds the zone for sure. Well, when you're in the dugout, that's what you want to see. You want your pitchers to go after the hitters, and you want them to, just be neat and tidy and get the guys to swing the bats early, let your defense work, and get back in the dugout and let your guys swing the bat and see how much damage we can do.
Well, as promised, here's our chat with Mike McClendon from last week. All right, Mike, congratulations. Good to hear that you're coming back. And first of all, you had quite the off season. I'm sure a little more entertaining than most. You were in Australia. What was that experience like playing in their league?
Definitely. It was quite different for me. First time leaving the country. Probably no better place to leave for your first time, and just an overall good experience. Just going down there, getting to travel. Baseball's always going to be baseball, no matter where you're playing. I'm always going to have a good time doing that, but just going down there, meeting some new guys. Half the team is built from an Australian core player, so definitely kind of a unique experience.
Yeah, did you have some American teammates with you too? Anybody that you knew ahead of time?
There was one guy I played with. It was Baker, Brian Baker.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's in the Atlantic League too.
Yeah.
But I played with him a few years ago, and that was my only buddy going down there. So I didn't know kind of what I was getting myself into. But like I said, I've got nothing but good things to say about it.
Yeah, he was with Southern Maryland, and did I hear that you guys won the championship there?
Yeah, we ended up taking the whole thing down. It was it was a great experience. It wasn't typically your winter ball. It was summertime down there, so
yeah,
it was beautiful weather. It was awesome. Good experience overall.
Was that with the Perth Heat? Is that the team you were with?
Yeah, we were with Perth, which is on the west side.
And how was the actual heat since it was summertime there?
It was pretty mild. I heard it could have gotten a lot worse out there, but typically, everything on the East Coast is pretty nice. It doesn't get too hot or anything, but Perth was definitely a little bit warmer. It was a little bit drier out there.
Talking with Mike McClendon, so you won the championship. What kind of following does baseball have in Australia? What was the fan base like? How into it are they?
It's definitely still growing. The league's been out there for quite a bit of time, and every year, from what I've been told, that competition is getting better. Just word of mouth, it's spreading a little bit more. Fan base, we saw plenty at home. We probably had one of the better facilities down there, and there's not much any other cities around us out there in Perth, but we got a pretty good show for the most part.
Are you any closer to getting your sleep schedule back on track now than you were last week?
Absolutely not. It was about a 16-hour flight to get back here to the States, and then I was stuck in Dallas for 2 days, and I ended up having to take a bus out of Dallas to get home. It was kind of a disaster getting back, but at the end of the day, it was well worth it, going down there.
And you've been back a couple of weeks now?
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
3?
I'd say right now, so definitely a nice little time to cool off from that.
What was the actual travel like within that league when you were there?
Very similar to the PCL, AAA. It was we would take our red-eye flight from Perth. You forget how big Australia is sometimes. I didn't really have any idea, but you're dealing with 3-hour time changes pretty much every flight, and you're leaving at midnight. You're getting in at 6 in the morning, so it's kind of similar to the AAA experience.
What were the sights like away from the field? Anything that you're going to take with you that you'll remember that you saw there?
Oh, yeah, I took plenty of pictures. It was, just the beaches overall, getting to go to Sydney, getting to see the Opera House. I mean, we got to see just about everything there is down in Australia.
How about any kangaroos?
Oh, yeah,
Really?
we even ate some kangaroos.
Oh, no.
They're almost pets. Yeah, they're pets down there almost.
What does it compare to, like, chicken or what?
It's a pretty, it's like a red meat, but it's really firm. I mean, the kangaroos are nothing but muscle, so it's pretty firm.
Is the food in general good? I mean, did you enjoy that part of it?
It's definitely healthy. I feel like sugar's illegal down there or something. Diet probably got a lot better going down there. You look at the whole culture down there. You don't have the obesity problems, anything like that down there, and they do a very good job of keeping up their health wise.
Wow. Talking with Mike McClendon. So you're back in the U.S. now, have been for a few weeks. What are the days like for you now as you start to focus in on the trip to York for spring training and getting this season started?
Yeah, it probably took about a week and a half off from all baseball activities coming back, which was plenty of time for me just to kind of recover. But right now, just get back into throwing, get my workouts in right now, and then just hopefully be prepared to let it go this season.
Do the Davidsons know yet? Are you going to live with them again?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Linda and Dave actually reached out to me probably a week after I got back from Australia and asked me what my plans were. And I let them know that I was going to come back to York. And they said I had a place there already for me. So that's awesome. I mean, I still keep in touch from, time to time. They'll reach out, I'll reach out. And they're one of the most fantastic people you could ever meet in your life.
Yeah, the host family program here is outstanding, and they've been right there with us since the beginning. And obviously, Mike, talking with Mike McClendon, the experience here worked out great for you last year to get that opportunity, get picked up by the Rockies. What did you take from your time here last year? And obviously it had to be pretty good memories, and I would imagine, fairly decent, fairly easy decision to give it a second shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark gave me the opportunity to go up there and start without a extensive starting background, and gave me a chance to compete. And it's a very talented league, very competitive league, and just getting that competitive back, where winning games is important, was something I took away from that experience, and had a great time. Everyone on the team, it was a fantastic team. You guys, even when I left there, the team they kept on winning. You guys won the first half, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and it was awesome experience, and
Well, and with starting, is that where you see yourself? Is that where you're most comfortable and what you want to do this year?
Yeah, definitely come back and start again. Went down to Australia. Last year they picked up the Rockies. I started off starting, and then they had a bunch of moves where I was getting pushed back and forth between starting and relieving. But definitely got into a better rhythm when I went down to Australia and started the whole time, and definitely continued the growing process from that.
And to make that transition last year while you were here in York, I would imagine that Mace and Fletch both had a pretty big impact on that transition. What was it like working with those two guys through that, and how much did they help you?
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about Fletch, what they thought, where they saw me, and we worked on things, in the bullpens, trying to, have more tools to attack guys, and they absolutely helped 100%. But overall, it's going to be a continued thing. It's still only been a year of really me trying to get my feet wet in this starting rotation. thing, and it's hopefully continue to grow as a pitcher out there.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Mike, we really appreciate the time and excited to hear that you'll be returning this year. So enjoy those final few weeks in Texas, and we'll see you here soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dale. Can't wait to see you guys.
All right, Mike McClendon. And, boy, I thought that kangaroos were like these harmless, nice animals. I guess they're viewed a little bit differently in Australia, as we come to find out.
I've seen a couple America's Funniest Home videos where they're really not that funny either. So I can understand why they would be viewed that way in Australia.
A delicacy. Well, we will take a break here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly. Another signing on this week's show to get to, and we'll hear all about that coming up here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Security in life isn't something you just wish for. You build it with a strong financial plan. Start with Northwestern Mutual. Together, we'll design a disciplined and balanced approach to financial security, because reaching your goals is something we both want to work toward. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the Square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey Revs fans, Swing Into Spring at bundles of savings at the York Revolution. The Swing Into Spring ticket plan gets you 6 field box seats to the game of your choice, 2 parking passes, plus admission for 2 to take live batting practice on the field at 2:30 for the Revs' 5 p.m. game against Long Island on Sunday, April 26th. Swing Into Spring at the York Revolution. Save when you shop at the Apple Chevrolet ticket office by phone at 717-801-HITS or online at yorkrevolution.com.
The new Wyndham Garden York, formerly the Holiday Inn by the West Manchester Mall, has been fully renovated and remodeled. With 177 upgraded guest rooms, over 16,000 square feet of meeting space, 2 large ballrooms, indoor and outdoor pools, a much larger fitness center, a new business center, and free Wi-Fi throughout. The new Fender's Grill and Pub features American cuisine in a casual atmosphere, using local meats, produce, wine, and craft beers. The new Wyndham Garden, 2000 Loucks Road in York. Stop in or call us at 846-9500.
Black Cap Brewing Company is a new brew pub featuring 8 taps of fresh, high-quality craft beer brewed on premises. Enjoy a variety of pub food, including appetizers, soups, panini sandwiches, and desserts, which are prepared by Red Lion's own Red Brick Bakery. Enjoy a casual, inviting, and family-friendly atmosphere as you relax with family and friends while enjoying some of the area's finest craft beer at Black Cap Brewing Company, located at 5 West High Street and Red Lion. Open Thursdays from 4 to 9 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 3 to 10. Check out Black Cap Brewing Company online at blackcapbrew.com and on Facebook.
This is Bo Vaughn of the York Revolution. Catch the Revs all season right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Back here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly, another signing to unveil here on this week's program. And if you missed it earlier, Brandon Boggs added to the team's outfield. We had the Mike McClendon interview from last week to share as well. So time now to unveil our second official signing from this week. Well, Rami, it's time for another rant. Off-season edition, and first of all, I know we're off to a flying start this morning. I've managed to already anger you. Is that correct?
Yeah, Daryl, you're kind of the best at doing that. You told me it was going to be a 7174 something number, and it was a 7178 something number, and I didn't even know who was calling, and I almost didn't answer it.
That certainly would have been unfortunate, especially because I know how much you've been looking forward to our interview today.
Oh, yeah, it's been. I put it on the calendar.
Well, how's your off-season been?
It's been nice. Been able to rest my arm a little bit. Got back into running. I'm actually running on solid ground instead of a treadmill. And I feel like I'm getting even more in shape than I was.
Do you particularly enjoy the training or not? Would we do a rant?
I do not enjoy running at all.
So we could do a rant on that.
Yeah, if we wanted to.
All right, maybe we'll save that. Do you like the walking that Bo Vaughn does? Do you like that?
I don't walk. Walking's a waste of time.
Okay. How's the weather been for you in Maryland this offseason?
Terrible. It's been very cold. We've got a lot of snow this year. Rain. It's just been tough to get outside. But I've managed, and, I'm just trying to get better.
Yeah. So have you been throwing and all that? Have you been able to, get it going a little bit?
Yeah, I've been throwing. I have to throw in the morning because I got to work around some schedules. My son goes to school. My wife goes to work. But if I can feel my hand, it's a good day.
Well, how are the kids?
They're good. My oldest is doing great in kindergarten, and my youngest is kind of a pest at home.
Yeah, what's he get into?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yelling, screaming, stopping. But he's just living.
Our first rant / catching up session with Rami Lewis of the off season. Do you watch? Are you like me? I mean, do you watch a lot of Mickey Mouse and all that? Is that kind of what's on your TV all the time?
Oh no.
No?
No, I watch whatever I want.
You put your foot down?
No. He has. My wife put her computer in his room so we can just play Hulu.
Oh, okay.
So he can watch all of his kiddie shows in there, so I don't have to suffer through them.
So that's not your thing. I mean, I could kind of maybe take a lesson from you here because that's the extent of my entertainment these days. But that's not your thing, not your preferred source of entertainment.
No, not at all. I'd rather watch women's basketball. I guess that's pretty terrible.
Who's your team?
I don't know any names of any teams. I've never watched 1 second of women's basketball.
Well, before we offend anybody else, back to your children. When your oldest comes home from kindergarten, can I envision Rami sitting there and working on math problems with him and things like that? Or is math a little bit before? Are we a little before that still?
I try to get him to do homework, but he refuses.
Yeah.
And so I have to threaten him.
Well, now, how were you as a student, or how are you as a student? Because I know you were taking some classes, too.
I'm a very good student.
Yeah?
I was 3.8 until I decided to take AP Calculus and AP Physics in the same year, and that didn't work out so well. But I finished with a 3.5, and I passed the AP Calculus test. I failed the class, but I passed the test.
I guess that's the important thing.
Yeah, I got that going for me.
Were you on the report card? Would your teachers have said "is a pleasure to have in class"?
Yeah, I would think so. I wasn't nearly as offensive as I am now.
All right. What's the hairstyle these days? What are we going to see in a couple weeks?
I don't know. I haven't cut my hair. I'm going to have my wife do it right before we come up there. So, yeah, I don't know yet.
So you still have some time to decide.
Yeah.
All right. How was Thailand or wherever you were playing?
Juan, Daryl.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How was that?
It was cool. I had Marty Jansen, the old Lancaster pitching coach, as my pitching coach. So it was fun. We got to know each other. Unfortunately, he's going to be in Long Island this year, so who knows? But yeah, I had a good time. All the coaching staff was American, so it was easy to communicate.
Yeah, that would help. Are you looking to maybe play in Thailand this year if you have the chance?
No, not Thailand, Daryl. I don't even know if they know what baseball is over there. They make rice and catch shrimps.
How was the food in Taiwan?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Nothing like the Chinese food over here. It's not greasy. It's not, all breaded up. It's really good.
Talking with Rami Lewis. Did you have the same role over there, coming in and closing out games?
Yeah, I did. It was fun. Got some good bonuses. The other two imports over there were Freddie Garcia and Victor Garate, who were apparently best friends. But I had fun. Freddie was an awesome dude. I don't know if he's going to play anywhere this year, but we had a good time.
I guess the money would not be a topic to rant about, correct? I mean, that's you were happy with that.
Yeah, it was good money, good bonuses. Didn't have to pay for any housing. Had my own room and in a hotel, so it was okay.
Now you're starting the year here again. Were you hoping to go back over there? Is that a rant? Am I stirring up a sore subject, or did you want to start here?
No, I would love to go back over there. I want to get over somewhere a little more permanent.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm switching to a starting role, because it seems like everybody's looking for starters and nobody gives rats what about a reliever.
Yeah, Mace had mentioned that you're looking to do that, and you had done that earlier in your career, right, in the Orioles system?
Yeah, I did it with the Orioles. First three out of the first 4 years, and then again in AAA with the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go that well with the Blue Jays, but I gotta try something,
Well, do you anticipate it being a smooth transition, do you think, or even at this point with your workouts and everything?
I hope it is. I don't know. I know I can handle the workload. I just don't know if I can mentally stay in the game as long as it takes. But I certainly will try.
Well, we don't doubt that. Let me ask you, who are your favorite teammates to have back on this year's team?
Patterson, Penny, and Bo, and McClendon.
All right. Will the chair be back?
Are you kidding?
It didn't get lost in overseas transport?
No, I didn't bring it. It's too big and bulky to friggin' check. And I don't want to pay $50 to get it over there, or however much they would charge me.
Yeah. Last year there were some gentlemen that didn't care for how often you were featured on our program. What would you say to them?
They can take a towel and cry into it. I don't know. I don't care what they think.
All right, so we'll line you up for our show now, and opening night, and the day after that, and the day after that, and that won't be too much, right?
Yeah, we'll try to get some reactions.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, well, Rami, I'll see what I can do between now and opening day to really grind your gears again and tick you off. We got off to a flying start today, so hopefully we'll have some more topics. I'll certainly be hard at research between now and then. You know that.
I'm sure we will, Daryl. It doesn't take much for you to piss me off.
It's wonderful to have you back, Rami.
Yeah, great to be back, Daryl.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Rami Lewis. Boy, Mace. Great signing there.
The total character, as you can tell. Just a lot of fun. The only thing is, I'm going to have to tell him the chair. I don't know if that chair will fit in the dugout. If you're a starting pitcher, you have to chart. You have to do a lot of things that require being in the dugout. So that may change his mind once we get into the season, where there won't be a whole lot of bullpen time down there. But No, we're going to give him the opportunity to do that. I know that he's capable. I think sometimes when you get to a point in your career like he is now, it's not so much the workload of the amount of pitches. Sometimes it's more the in and out of the dugout. If you're in the 6th inning, 7th inning, coming in out of that dugout so many times and sitting in between and then going back out there, sometimes that's the biggest toll and that's the biggest adjustment that guys have to make. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see where he's at when we get into spring training. But obviously we had some holes to fill with some guys that weren't going to be back from last year. So we're willing to be open to that, and I'm sure Rami will take advantage.
Well, and I hate to go here, but if it didn't go the way that he had hoped, would you be able to move him back to the bullpen, do you think?
Definitely. I think so. I mean, I don't think he would be adverse to that as long as he had the opportunity to try to start. And then after that, the results are what they are. So, but we'll give him every opportunity. We'll try to ease him into it at the beginning of the year. That's a little easier to do, but once we get into about 3 to 4 weeks into the season, then the starting pitchers are going to have to be able to stay out there for a while. So they get about 4 starts or so with some piggyback help and things like that, but we need to get the pitch counts built up by about the 5th start.
And, of course, he's the Revs' all-time leader in saves, but you seem to have some arms stockpiled in that bullpen. You think you can find somebody to fill that role if this pans out for him?
I believe so. With the guys that we're bringing in and some of the guys we haven't announced yet, other than my left-handed situational type bullpen guys, I really think that almost all the right-handers that I have here can close. And that's kind of what the mindset is for us, that once we get into the 6th inning, if I go to my bullpen almost, if every guy could be a potential closer, that's going to make it really hard for the other team to score runs, whether the guys are pitching in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, whatever. I thought we had multiple guys that could close here last year. But sometimes when you're closing, it's not always about your stuff, it's about mentality. And obviously listening to Rami and the people that have listened to the rants and know him, he has the perfect mentality for a closer because he really doesn't care. He's going to go out there and he's going to try to, what we say, shove. He's going to try to shove it and just really try to compete and dominate. Obviously 28 saves by the time he left here last year.
Which was mid-August.
Had he been here all year, he probably would have been probably 40 or beyond, whatever. He would have probably challenged John Hutton too for that saves for the season. But it's just one of those things where it's a mindset as a closer, and he definitely has that too. But we also have some other guys that are kind of crazy in the bullpen. So I think we'll be okay trying to fill that role.
All right. Well, it will definitely be fun to see, and it's always fun to have him back. So Rami Lewis back for 2015. Earlier today, we announced Brandon Boggs, outfielder, signing as well. Mace, good stuff. We'll get back at it next Friday at 4 and do it again.
We will see you then.
All right. That will do it for this edition of Revs Hot Stove Weekly. For Ray Jensen in studio with us, Mark Mason, Daryl Henry saying so long. We'll talk to you once again next Friday at 4 and coming up tonight at 6:20. Hershey Bears hockey as the Bears host the Manchester Monarchs. Then afterward, we'll join the Sweet 16 in progress. Tomorrow morning, final episode of Central PA Game Day of the high school sports season. And then all kinds of March Madness coverage tomorrow with Hershey Bears hockey again at 6:20 tomorrow night as well. Busy station. Keep it right here. Much more to come this evening here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Black Cap Brewing Company is a new brew pub featuring 8 taps of fresh, high-quality craft beer brewed on premises. Enjoy a variety of pub food, including appetizers, soups, panini sandwiches, and desserts, which are prepared by Red Lion's own Red Brick Bakery. Enjoy a casual, inviting, and family-friendly atmosphere as you relax with family and friends while enjoying some of the area's finest craft beer at Black Cap Brewing Company, located at 5 West High Street and Red Lion. Open Thursdays from 4 to 9 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 3 to 10. Check out Black Cap Brewing Company online at blackcatbrew.com and on Facebook.
Get ready for winter now and save big on your heating oil or propane costs. Call today to schedule your first fill, and don't forget to ask our energy advisors about the right money-saving plan or budget to fit your lifestyle. Lock in your rate and protect your price all winter. Our price-protected customers save an average of $325 per year. Visit ShipleyEnergy.com or call 855-4SHIPLEY to schedule your next heating oil or propane delivery. Shipley Energy, energy for life.
Bill Bateman's Bistro in New Freedom reminds listeners the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This military tribute is from Bill Bateman's Bistro at 985 Far Hills Drive in New Freedom and a second location at 1418 Baltimore in Hanover. Call 717-630-8800.
First in York, first in sports. Your only local sports station. The new Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York, Pennsylvania.